Hello and welcome to another episode of Momento Malum today. Today we'll cover the origin of several common Canadian-grown apple cultivars. The Fuji, the Golden Delicious, the Honeycrisp, and the Red Delicious. The wine sap is an ancient heritage variety that was first recorded in 1804 by Dr. James Mace. The record mentioned that this variety was cultivated in New Jersey by Sam Coles. It was a popular apple to make hard cider with. The full history of this variety is unknown. The most common hypothesis is that this apple was bred or introduced during colonial times. Wine sap apples were later introduced to the southern United States, especially in Virginia, where they were extensively cultivated up until the 1950s when refrigeration allowed for other cultivars to replace the wine sap. A seedling of the wine sap would in time gain variety. The Red Delicious for the longest time had an unknown origin. The parents were speculated to be yellow bellflower, black gillyflower, wine sap, and/or sheep nose sweet. The genetic data removed all possibilities except for the wine sap. Based on the data, the Red Delicious is a hybrid between the wine sap and an unknown apple. The cultivar was discovered around 1872, growing between the rows of an apple tree orchard of Jesse Hyatt of Iowa. He cut it down twice, only to find it to spring back each time, so he finally left it to flower and bear fruit. The fruit were quite good. As a result, Mr. Jesse Hyatt named the cultivar Hawkeye and entered it into the contest run by the Stark Brothers Nursery. The apple won the show, and the president of the company, Clarence M. Stark, bought the rights to Hawkeye, renaming it Stark Delicious and later Red Delicious. The next cultivar we'll talk about, indirectly and then directly, would be Ralstonette and the Fuji. Ralstonette is said to come from France, and it came to the United States through the trade between the French ambassador, Edmond Charles Genet, and Thomas Jefferson. It is through Thomas Jefferson that it came to the nurseryman Caleb Ralls, who named the apple. This individual then spread the apple across Virginia, and eventually across the United States. In the 1860s, Japan would begin the import of apples from the United States, with Ralstonette becoming a fan favorite within the Japanese culture. This cultivar was crossbred with many different apple varieties to breed many different cultivars of Asian apple during the 20th century. The most famous of the crossbreeds between Ralstonette and other cultivars would be Fuji, a hybrid between the Ralstonette and Red Delicious. The Fuji. Hello, I just want to let you know, if you want to fund this channel, you can do so on the platforms seen in the description below. The Golden Delicious apple is an apple discovered in 1891 as a chance seedling by the 15-year-old John Mullins while hoeing the field of his father's farm in West Virginia. It is a seedling of the Grimes Golden apple cultivar. In 1905, Anderson Mullins, Jack Mullins' uncle, took over the farm. Anderson Mullins then sold the rights to the tree to the Stark Brothers Nursery, where it was renamed Golden Delicious. This cultivar has been used to breed many cultivars, both commercial and experimental. A cultivar of renown within Minnesota is the Frostbite apple. This cultivar is a hybrid with only one known parent. The known parent is a hybrid between Duchess of Oldenburg and Utter's Large Red. Frostbite was then crossbred with Northern Spy to give rise to Sweet 16 and Keepsake. The former I've actually eaten. It's actually a good tasting apple that tastes like cherry early on, before turning into a licorice flavor as it gets older. Both flavor types are quite good in my opinion. Another cultivar that came out of Minnesota was MN 1627. This cultivar is a mix between Duchess of Oldenburg and Golden Delicious, although that seedling does not exist anymore. Keepsake and MN 1627 were crossbred together to make Honeycrisp. This apple is common both in the United States, but especially within Canada, where we got colder winters. And that's the origin of Honeycrisp. And that about covers everything. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for the next episode where I'll be going back to Minnesota before we head back to the True North Strong and Free to look at some of the cool hybrids and heirlooms that came out of Canada that have become common within Canadian culture. Thank you for watching.